Time for the KSL In Depth. There were a lot of nervous people in the lead up to the 2002 Olympic Winter Games here in Utah. The start of the winter season was slow, kind of like this year. There were real concerns the world might not come to see the greatest snow and instead find the mountains bare. It makes sense, then, that our current sad situation on the slopes loomed over a meeting today of Utah's Olympic Exploratory Committee, and our reporter, Brianna Bodley, was there. Now she's here, live in the studio. So about this meeting, there's no way you can possibly forecast what the snowpack will look like a decade from now. So why all the stress?
As you can imagine, something like this is so expensive. They want to get every single detail right. They want everything to be expected. So even though, just like you said, things could change drastically between now and, say, 2030 or 2026, they still want to do their absolute best to forecast absolutely everything. And part of that is also preparing for it. When I talked with a member of the Exploratory Committee who's over the environmental side of things, he was saying, if we can expect to not have snow, then we can do things like find plenty of snow machines, build things so that the sun doesn't come down on the slopes quite so hard, so that it's actually ready, as opposed to some other Olympic events that we've heard about where the snow is so bad, Olympians actually said, no, I'm not competing. I'm not going to put myself in this danger.
Because there was too much snow or not enough?
Not enough.
Right. Sochi, I think of. Because it was really warm there, and they had a problem with the snow all melting down the mountains. Well, we also have another issue, the inversion. We had this nasty inversion last week. Are the committee members worried about what would happen if we hosted in the middle of something like that?
Yeah, this is a very serious concern, because what they're thinking is going to happen by 2030 is that the inversion will it's not quite thicken, but it's not quite harden either. The idea is that it'll just be harder to push it out of the valley. So with this latest disgusting inversion, we all hated it, but we got a good snowstorm and it was gone. The concern is that if this continues to build, it will take more than a snowstorm, and you don't want athletes breathing in that or any more than you want to breathe it in.
And it certainly would be a black eye for the community having
absolutely.
That kind of pollution.
The whole world looking at us right in some of the most disgusting days of our year, that would not be fun.
So last I heard, I might have blinked, they were talking about 2026 or 30. Is it now just 2030?
No, not at all. There are some complications with 2026, one of which is that it's so much sooner. Another is that it's right next to when the LA games.
And they don't want to do it twice with the same country.
Not common. It's almost completely. They're saying it's a possibility, but in the past, the IOC hasn't looked favorably upon back-to-back hosting in the same country. So they, I think, are looking more favorably upon 2030, but 2026 is not out of the running yet. They're still thinking about it.
Okay, now we've seen the public opinion polls. 89% of Utahns support bringing the Olympics here. These questions and problems they were talking about today, was there any thought that maybe we shouldn't do the Olympics?
No, actually, most of everything that everybody was talking about today was really positive. Just like you said, public opinion is high. Well, business opinion is also very high. They're very positive about the reaction that we would get from local businesses and sponsorships here. And as far as the environmental side of it, while we have talked about, like you said, the black eye section of the Olympics, or the possible black eye, there's also some positives. They think that they can, with all of the efforts that our local cities are doing to become carbon neutral or even carbon positive, meaning that we don't have as big a footprint, that the Olympics would actually go that same direction, which is huge
and
within
the
International Olympic Committee.
Clean the air, actually.
Exactly. So potentially, Utah would actually be left better than it was before the games came through.
We'll see. When do they decide whether to make a bid?
In February, that's when it goes up in front of the legislature, and they'll start to, move the wheels. I think it's the end of March that they actually have to make the bid, and then we're talking a couple of years. If they want to do 2026, that decision will be made in 2019, so about a year. We're almost at 2018, so about a year down the road.
Well, it's good they have you working the story. Thanks for coming in, Brianna.